basket and helicopter crash. I mean, you worked with him as part of Team USA. What were your initial thoughts, and what kind of legacy did Kobe have on basketball?
Just shocked. Young man had a lot of his life ahead of him. Of course, he left an amazing legacy, and he's going to be missed.
What made him such a special player? Coming up through the NBA and coming out of high school and just to become an elite player, because no one really had him like a LeBron James coming out like this is the anointed one. But what did he do so well?
I think it was his work ethic, his commitment to the game. He was a player who he always worked as if he was poor. That's the best way I can put it. He always worked as if he was poor. Like he always thought he worked like the average player or a mediocre player, but yet he was a great player. And I think that work ethic carried through his entire career. He played with that type of hunger and that type of desire that very few players play with when they have that type of elite talent.
I'm sure for some of your players, if not all of them, they grew up following and admiring and emulating Kobe Bryant. What was this like on them? Did you have a conversation with the guys maybe on Sunday or yesterday?
Yeah, we did. We talked about him, and we tried to honor him by some of the things we said. And it's just a generation of young players who grew up with him. That's who they remember as their player. And for him to pass the way he did, it was tragic. And so we wanted to kind of share stories and also just kind of talk our guys through, try to help them, move, forward, after such a devastating, accident.
It's kind of a unique game the other night in Wichita. Some really foul trouble to your bigs. With the small lineup, really battled the entire way. Some unfortunate calls and other things towards the end maybe kind of limited your comeback. But what did you like about your team, facing an adverse situation?
Well, it's what we've talked about. Our guys, we're going to compete for 40 minutes. And I thought our guys did do that. I thought they gave us opportunities. Unfortunately, we fell a little short. The thing you take away from it is, even when we were able to go small, our guys were still able to be very competitive. And we have to carry that going forward.
What did Tony Johnson show you? Obviously, the most extensive playing time of the year. Of course, he hits that 75-foot shot before half, but obviously played well. What did he do out there?
He just showed what he's made of. That young man showed a lot of poise. And in a tough environment. That place had 10,000 people. Everyone was against us in there, and he really stepped up. Which says a lot about who he is. I mean, he in those moments, you really kind of learn about your players, and I learned that he plays with great poise and plays with great toughness.
On that shot, I think it happened basically right by your bench, right when he shot it. I mean, sometimes you see those shots, you're like, oh, they maybe have a chance to go in. What was kind of your perspective and reaction when it banked in?
I felt that when he took the shot, because I was right there where he was as well. And I told him, I said, Tony, good shot, before the ball even got probably halfway to the basket, and didn't know it was going to go in, but he did have a good trajectory on it. It was on line, and they just hopeful at that point.
Now, as a player, you probably remember a shot. Did you ever make a shot that far, or what was kind of like the longest shot you remember taking as a player? Did you ever have a half court go in?
Yeah, I've made one from both. So those are things you remember. So I made one from both distances, and that's always a nice surprise. But like I said, it gave us a lift going into halftime is what it did for us. It kept us within striking distance, and it gave us an opportunity to come out and compete in the second half.
Longer term with Tony, just kind of looking at his progress. I know you brought him in to play point guard. Obviously, you got experience at Daejeon this year. But what have you seen from him, and where does he need to continue to improve, not just this season, but just kind of looking ahead to next season too?
Well, I love his attitude. He's been terrific in practice. He's been getting better in practice, and that's why we felt comfortable putting him in that situation, and he really stepped up. And so the things he needs to continue to get better at is continuing to learn to run the team, understanding that, time and score situations, just all young player things that you have to kind of overcome. And but I think he's tracking just fine. I think he's going to be terrific in our program. And like I said, I love his spirit.
What do you know about Memphis? Obviously, they're coming off 2 tough losses. Had been ranked prior to that. Obviously, a talented team. What do you know about Penny's guys?
Very talented team. There's talent as anybody in the country, and is a team that we know is going to play very hard. Defensively, really get after it. Penny does a great job with them there, and offensively as well. They run really good sets, and they go to their main players that are looking to score the basketball. So they really have an idea what they want to do offensively.
You were shorthanded a couple guys the other night. Nobody had the flu. I don't know. Dre's been out with the groin. Any update on those guys where they could potentially return tomorrow?
Yeah, I think both guys are healing. I think both guys have an opportunity to be able to contribute tomorrow. It just depends on, I think how they feel after their day's workout and when they see the trainer. But both guys are in a position where I think they'll be able to help us.
Coach, we saw your story tweet the other day about Kobe after his tragic passing. How did you know him? What were your interactions like with Kobe?
Well, I was fortunate to have an opportunity to work with the USA basketball team with the Olympic team, and I was director of player development. So I had a chance to really work with him and take him to the gym and get up shots and so forth, and so I got to know him through that experience for 2 years.
After everything that happened, shots kind of still there, but the news kind of settled in. What are some interactions that you remember looking back with your time with Kobe?
Just his commitment to excellence is the best way I can put it. I can remember working him out one day and we spent 3.5 hours in the gym. The man took over 1,000 shots, and I had people assisting me. All I had to do was pass him the basketball. 45 minutes left in the workout, I couldn't pass any more basketball, and he was still wanting to shoot. And so that just says a lot about him. At that time in his career, he was thought of as the best player in the world. And for him to still be that hungry, still working that hard in the off season, it says a lot about him. So, like I said, he always worked as if he was, just still trying to make it. Like he worked like I hadn't arrived yet. I hadn't made an All-Star game. I hadn't won a championship. He worked like that every day, even though he had accomplished all of those things.
Stuff that you worked with him and stuff that you take from training with him to coaching here with these guys here at UCF?
No, absolutely. I share the stories with our players as well as, try to take some of the things that I saw him do and work with our guys, on, because I think some of those things that he's done are very fundamental, and I think they carry over no matter if you're an elite talent like Kobe Bryant or you're a young aspiring player.
I know I asked you about, a lot of these guys grew up emulating and admiring and Kobe's probably their favorite player for life. For you, growing up, did you have a favorite basketball player that you used to watch and emulate, and who was that for you?
Yeah, I think we all had players like that. For me, that player was George Gervin, who was a scorer that ended up playing for the San Antonio Spurs. He was a great player and someone that I wanted to try to emulate when I was growing up.